Whether he's on the field before the game or perched in the seats in the stands during the game, Patriot coach Bill Belichick is a big lacrosse fan. When the NCAA Final Four was held at Gillette Stadium 3 weeks ago, the teams were treated to some remarks before the tournament from the Patriots head coach.
If you ask me, it depends on what day it is, but lacrosse would either be my favorite or second favorite sport, depending on the time of year. I mean, I love watching the game as a fan, and it's fun to go out there and whip it around every now and then, absolutely.
This is a guy, though, that isn't just a fan. He's very passionate about the game. He loves lacrosse.
Dave Petramala is the Johns Hopkins lacrosse coach. He's led the Blue Jays to 2 national championships and 6 Final Four appearances in his 8 years at the helm. He knows firsthand what it means to his sport to get the Belichick seal of approval.
You know, to the layman and someone who maybe doesn't know a lot about lacrosse and they hear the name Bill Belichick and it's associated with lacrosse, you know, your ears perk up a little bit. You say, well, whoa, wait a second, what's that? What's he involved in there? When you've got a guy who has Super Bowl rings, who, you know, in my opinion is the premier coach in his profession. He's coached at the pinnacle of that sport. So to have a person like that, to, you know, kind of be at the forefront of the pinnacle of our game is really invaluable.
The shores of Annapolis, resting in the shadow of the Naval Academy, where Belichick spent his childhood, was the epicenter for lacrosse in the United States, and it made a lasting impression.
Pretty big. It was pretty big. You know, most kids played lacrosse in the spring as opposed to baseball. In Annapolis, you know, I was very fortunate to grow up in an area where it was popular and I had a chance to play it. It's fast, there's a lot of contact, and there's skill with the stick. So when you combine those 3 elements, it you know, provides for a very exciting game.
I think Coach is just another example of many, many people that love the game and have taken the game with them, you know, to a different area that they've moved on to.
Belichick took the game to heart and brought it home with him, where he passed his love of the game on to his family. All 3 of his children are involved in the game.
You know, I like it that they like it. It certainly gives us a lot in common, and you know, all 3 of them played it, and now my daughter's coaching it, and that's been very good for me.
Yeah, nice. All right.
I think lacrosse is one of those sports that's a lot of fun, and when you played lacrosse, I can't ever remember going to practice thinking that it wasn't fun to go to practice. It's one of those sports that you like to practice, you like to play, and you know, football sometimes can be a little bit of a grind, especially, you know, with all the practices and so few games and so many practices. But lacrosse is one of those sports that it's a fun sport to participate in, and it's great for participants, it's great for fans, and I think it's easy really to see why it's such a fast-growing sport.